She woke to stone, cold, damp, unforgiving. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and rusted metal. Elara's eyes fluttered open slowly, her vision blurring into unfamiliar shapes, the rough lines of ancient stone walls, the heavy iron bars of a rusted cell door, and a narrow window high above where a thin strip of moonlight slipped inside. She was underground. Her head throbbed. She reached up carefully, fingertips brushing a patch of dried blood at her temple. A sharp sting made her wince as memories returned in scattered fragments. The fog, the giant brown wolf, the glowing golden eyes. Chains rattled softly against the opposite wall. They weren't attached to her, thankfully, but their presence was enough to remind her that this was no place meant for kindness. Her satchel was gone. She wasn't tied down, yet her freedom was nothing more than an illusion. The cell was small and bitterly cold. A thin blanket lay over a pile of straw, and beside it rested a chipped bowl filled with water. A dungeon. She was in a dungeon. Panic crept slowly into her chest. Not loud and frantic, but quiet, icy, and impossible to ignore. She wrapped her arms around herself, pressing against the wall as if she could disappear into the stone. This wasn't the forest. This was worse. Her heartbeat quickened as she remembered those golden eyes. Unhuman, reflective, terrifying. The way the mist had seemed to avoid the creature. The growl that had shaken the ground beneath her feet. She had been hunted, and now she was the prize. Silence settled over the dungeon. Water dripped somewhere beyond the walls. A cold wind slipped through unseen cracks, carrying the faint scent of pine from the forest above. Minutes passed, or perhaps hours. Then she heard footsteps, slow, heavy, boots striking ancient stone. Each step echoed louder in her chest than in the corridor itself. Elara scrambled to her feet, despite the pain in her body, and retreated into the furthest corner of the cell. Her trembling fingers searched for something, anything, to defend herself. She found a loose stone. It crumbled into dust in her hand. The footsteps stopped. A shadow appeared beyond the bars. Tall, motionless. Torchlight flickered behind him, painting gold across dark brown hair that fell carelessly over a face carved with sharp lines and quiet exhaustion. Then she saw them. Golden eyes. The very same golden eyes that had watched her through the fog. Human now, but somehow, still not entirely human. "You're awake." His voice was low and rough, carrying through the dungeon like distant thunder. He didn't sound surprised. He sounded certain. Elara stared at him, fear stealing every word from her throat. Her knees trembled. Finally, she managed to whisper, "Who are you?" The stranger tilted his head ever so slightly. "It doesn't matter. It does to me." For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then he answered, "Ian." Just one name. No explanation. No apology. He stepped closer to the bars. Elara instinctively pressed herself against the wall. "You were in my forest," Ian said. "I'm sorry. I was banished," she replied, her voice shaking despite the spark of anger growing inside her. "I didn't ask to be there. You didn't belong there. And you do." His expression never changed. "I do now." His gaze drifted briefly, toward the narrow window where moonlight slipped into the dungeon. "This forest belongs to monsters." Something in the way he spoke unsettled her. There was no pride, no threat, only quiet resignation, as though he considered himself one of those monsters. Before Elara could ask another question, Ian turned away. His boots echoed down the corridor until both the sound and the torchlight disappeared into darkness. She was alone once more. Slowly, she slid down the wall, and wrapped her arms around her knees. Her head still ached. Every muscle in her body felt heavy. She wanted to cry. She wanted to go home. But there was no home waiting for her anymore. Only an endless forest and a castle hidden in its heart. The hours crawled by until the creaking of iron hinges startled her. An elderly woman entered the dungeon carrying a wooden tray. Unlike Ian, her eyes were warm. Deep wrinkles framed a gentle smile. Without a word, she placed the tray through a small opening in the bars. Fresh bread, hot vegetable stew, a cup of water. Elara stared at the meal. I don't have anything to pay you with. The old woman shook her head. You don't owe me anything, child. Am I a prisoner? A flicker of sadness crossed the woman's face. Well, I suppose that depends on who you ask. Before Elara could question her further, the woman quietly walked away. The warmth of the stew spread through her cold hands. For the first time since entering the dungeon, she realized something strange. No one had harmed her. No one had chained her. No one had threatened her. She was imprisoned, yet strangely cared for. Far above, hidden beyond layers of stone and moonlit towers, a lone wolf stood upon the castle walls. Its silver eyes never left the small dungeon window below. Watching, waiting, guarding, and neither the frightened girl nor the silent beast understood that their fates had already become intertwined beneath the same moon.